Hey, what's up? It's Luke, and you're watching Luke the Gathering. Thanks for checking out the channel and being here. Well, it's Friday, and that means it's Friday Night Magic, and at my local game store, it's draft night, and we are still drafting Murders at Karlov Manor. I really like this set. I think, like I said in previous videos, I think people like this set less than I do, that's for sure. But I think it's a great set. It's really fun to play, and tonight I actually went 3-0. It's really hard to do this because everyone almost at the store, I feel at least, has more experience than I do. I came in during Strixhaven, which is now a few years ago. It doesn't seem like that long, but it has been since Strixhaven. But people who play at the store, we have some newer players, newer than me, but there are a lot of old-timers and people who've played for years and years, and I don't have those years, and so anytime I can go 3-0, and I played against some really quality opponents today, it's just the deck that I had. I felt like it was really strong. No like huge bombs or anything like that, but cards that I thought assisted me in getting the win. And we're going to talk about it. It's a blue-white Azorius Detectives deck. And yeah, not very many rares. The rares that are in it I don't think are that consequential, but there are some definite keys in this deck to help it win. So we're going to talk about it. And to celebrate the victory, I got myself a collector booster pack, which I'll open at the end. Hopefully we'll get something really cool in here. So without further ado, let's go ahead, turn the camera around, and check out the deck. All right. Well, before we actually check out the deck proper, here are the extra stuff that I got during the draft. Tokens and the cards that didn't make it in. I'm not anywhere near black, but I don't think I actually have this card, this Persuasive Interrogators card in this particular form. Got this token with all the cutouts, clue tokens. Got a Millstone. Surprise Witness in the special art. Yeah, so not a whole lot. But here we go. The deck. The one rare, or one of the rares, this might be the only rare, I'm not sure. Meticulous Archive, didn't really need it, but it's nice to have a blue-white land, plains and an island, and surveils, pretty cool. And it's in the full art treatment. I thought that was nice. Case of the Gateway Express, this is a removal card, and I like this card. It says, when this case enters the battlefield, choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals 1 damage to that creature. So if you have 4 creatures out, it can deal 4 damage to something. Because the creatures in this deck, it's a creature-heavy deck. I think there's over 15 creatures in this deck. I feel like there's a good chance my board will have enough creatures to do this. And besides that, it's only 2 mana, which is really good. So when this thing gets solved, all the creatures get +1/+0, so buffs the board. Especially, this is a very aggro-y blue-white deck. Out Cold. This might be the star card of the entire deck. I have 2 of them in here because once you get your detectives going, they have 1 or 2 on board. You have 3 or 4 on board. You start eliminating their blockers with Out Cold for turns and turns, and they just can't overcome it. And there are other cards that bounce their creatures. This is an all-star. This was probably the best card of the deck. Thinking Cap, cool little equipment. It's just 1 equip for detectives, and it gives them +1/+2. I like having this card in the deck. It's a nice 1-drop when you have in your opening hand. Buffs your detectives. Gets that little bit more damage in. Also can be used on defense. Karlov Watchdog is cool. If you attack with 3 or more, you get +1/+1 to everything that's attacking. That's really nice. Plus, this has vigilance. I love Perimeter Enforcer. It's a detective, which means it gets all the buffs that you need. And when detectives enter the battlefield, this thing gets a +1/+1. Has lifelink and flying. This thing really swings battles, swings life totals. I would draft all these all day long. Novice Inspector, people say this is like the best common ever. I like it a lot. It's a great card to have opening hand. Gives you the clue. Not a lot to say about it. Just really good, solid card. You know, a 1/1 for one, a 1/2 really for one. And you know, when you get buffs and pumps and stuff, this thing becomes really good. In fact, my second game today, it was Novice Inspector with a thinking cap on, and they couldn't stop it. This was it. This was what was dealing all the damage. I would play bigger things. They would remove the bigger things, and this thing would just keep hitting for two, hitting for two, hitting for two, hitting for two. They just couldn't stop it. Seasoned Consultant. I love Seasoned Consultant as well. Whenever you attack with 3 or more, this thing becomes a 3/3. It's a really pretty big threat because you can attack with 3 creatures pretty early in the game and then just keep doing that. It can very well be overwhelming for the opponent by then. So I love this card. Inside Source also great. You get a 2/2 detective token. You can also make another detective, gain +2/+0, and vigilance, which I did use. Gryphonot Tracker. This is a great flyer, 3/2. Now, this flyer, when it ETBs, you can exile up to 2 target cards from the graveyard. You know, the people who are, you know, trying to collect evidence and relying on evidence collecting, this really shuts that down. Big time. And I got 2 of those. Exit Specialist. Oh my gosh, this is a beastly card too. You play it as a 2/2, Ward 2, you know, upside down. And then when it flips up, it just bounces a card out back to their owner's hand. So good. It just can eliminate blockers. You can also save your own guys if you need to. Plus, it can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Cold Case Cracker, one of my favorite flyers in this format. It's a 3/3 for 4. When it dies, you investigate. Another favorite, Crime Stopper Sprite. This one you can collect evidence 6 to get a stun counter on something or just make something get tapped. Unauthorized Exits, a bounce card. Plus, you get a Surveil one. On the job, everyone knows about this by now. Everything gets +2/+1, and you get to investigate. But usually this is a game ender already. Case of the Filched Falcon. I did get to the solved version of this with a really early and had a 4/4 flyer in the air just hitting for nasty amounts of damage. Dramatic Accusation, just another sort of removal card. Projector Inspector, I love this guy. Helps you get through your deck as much as you need. I had 2 Granite Witnesses. This was so cool. This was like pack 1, pick 2, and 3. I got a Granite Witness, and then another one came my way. I was like, what is this? More cards that tap creatures down, and when you do that, it just gets those blockers out of the way, and it lets those detectives go in and do the job they need to do. This was great. And lastly, I think this is... I personally feel like this is a Mythic Uncommon. When I get this card in draft, it feels so good, and it's Private Eye. For 3, all the other detectives get +1/+1, and every time you draw your second card, like if you investigate, then you can make a detective can't be blocked this turn. That's insanity. This is the one I hate to get killed. I don't want anyone to remove this, but this guy is a beast. And when you have a huge board filled with detectives, they're all getting +1/+1. This card is the card you want to have. It's just so good. Love it. So that's it. That's the deck. It went 3-0. And to celebrate, we're going to open up this collector booster. All right, let's see. All right, we're starting off with a detective token. That's apropos with a dog on the back. Hey, we got a what do you call that? Invisible Ink. Argus Cost Spirit of Justice. Mythic. That is sweet. And it is the Invisible Ink Guide. Nice. We got a Lush Portico. Full art. Armed with Proof. Connecting the dots. Another lands. We got 2 lands in this one. That's cool. Deadly Complication. Soul. Enervation. A Mountain. The Gear Drake. And then a bunch of all the regular foils. But wow, that was a really good pack. I really like that. Especially the Invisible Ink stuff. I don't know if you can... I doubt you can see it. It's hard to see. I can't even get it to show up, but I see it here live and in person. I really thought that was a good pack, and I had a great time tonight. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.